Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Breakdown. I'm Sandra Babu-Boateng. You know, Nigeria is no stranger to political scandals, but this one hits different. And it deserves not just a national, but a continental and even a global conversation. A sitting female senator, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has dropped a bombshell accusing the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, of sexual harassment. And no, this isn't just gossip. This is history in the making, as Natasha's legal team has filed a formal petition with the National Human Rights Commission and is seeking to escalate it to the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, or the courts. If formally investigated and proven, this could mark the first time in Nigerian history that a sitting Senate president faces such charges from a fellow senator. And it could change everything for women in politics in Nigeria and the rest of Africa. Today on The Breakdown, we unpack what happened, what's at stake, and what it says about the culture of power, silence, and resistance in Nigeria's and also Africa's political class. This is a conversation we need to have. But before we dive in, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another critical conversation like the one we're about to have. All right, let's jump in. So let's start with the woman at the center of this storm. Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. She is no pushover. She's a lawyer, an entrepreneur, an activist turned senator representing Kogi Central. She's a trailblazer, the first woman ever elected to the Senate from her state. She's been known for speaking truth to power, especially around corruption, marginalization, and gender inequality. So when she stood before cameras, looking the nation dead in the eye and saying the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, sexually harassed her? Yeah, well, people paid attention. And they should. Now, let's rewind the tape and walk through what happened, starting with the moment that caught national attention.
Senate, your point of order is sustained.
Order, please.
Dismissed Senator Natasha, please, you are not recognized to speak from there. That is the order of the Senate.
Sir, order 10 on privileges. Order 10 on privileges.
Distinguished Senator Natasha.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice. A motion declaring that the content of breach of privilege has been
that allows suspension immediately.
Or refer.
Okay, so let's give this some context. According to the senator, on this particular day, she walked into the chamber and was told, without any warning, that her seat had been moved. She later explained in an interview that the change came directly from the Senate president.
Indeed, the Senate president has the right to allocate seats to every senator, and the senator should speak from that allocated seat. But here it is. I was not about to make a debate. Neither was I about to contribute to a motion. I was reading an SOS, which is a lifeline of any senator. For any senator to have invoked Order 10, that means his privileges were already, or her privileges were already infringed upon and denied. And that can be raised anywhere at any time. So once a senator shouts Order 10, believe me, even if I'm being dragged on the floor and I say Order 10, they are supposed to listen to me. Wherever I sit in that place, that's why he said any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and I should be prepared to move same. So in this part, the Senate president, once I raised Order 10, he ought to have allowed me to speak. And then he could have maybe taken his own discretion to overrule it or move that complaint to the Ethics and Privileges Committee, but the Senate President failed to do that. Instead, he ordered that the Sergeant at Arms should move me out of the chambers and prepare for my suspension.
But this wasn't just about a seat. Because according to Natasha, this wasn't an isolated act. For months, she said Akpabio had been making repeated inappropriate advances, including touching, suggestive messages. And when she rejected him, what followed was political intimidation and deliberate attempts to silence her voice in the Senate. According to her, her mic was muted. Her speaking time was cut short. Her motions were sidelined. Here's how it all started.
It all started on the 8th of December, 2023, which was a day before his birthday and my birthday. We are birthday mates. We were all in Akwa Ibom because he had a big fanfare in the stadium. Myself, my husband, and a few of his close friends, we went to Akwa Ibom. And at first, we were at Ikot Ekpene. We were in his house in Ikot Ekpene. Then we all moved to his house in Uyo, which was about 8 p.m. And he held my hand and said he wanted to show me around his house. My husband was walking behind us, just three of us. We're walking around from room to room. He showed me the beautiful interior. This was done by this, by that, this designer here, he bought this from us. Like, oh, it's beautiful. And then I noticed that he hastened his pace while still holding my hand. And my husband was behind, still on his phone, but he was catching up whenever he could. And then he got to this particular sitting room, and he said, "Do you like my house?" I said, "Of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice interior, quality taste." He said, "Now that you're a senator, I'm going to create a time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it." Oh. In February, I wanted to move a motion. I wanted to move a motion for the investigation on the ills of corrupt practice in Ajakuta Steel Company. I listed that motion 5 times. It was the 6th time that it was listed on the order paper that was approved. Many senators can testify to that. Each time the motion is listed, just before he takes it, he will say, "Oh, Senator Natasha, we can't take this motion because the board of the Senate does not accommodate it." Or he will speak on others and then let it drag so that just before my motion is taken, the time will be well spent. So he kept on doing that. I went to him in his office. And I said, "Senate President, you know how important this Ajakuta Steel Company to me is. You know how important it is to my people and to Nigerians. I've noticed that you have stepped down this motion. As a matter of fact, a number of senators told me, go and see him and plead with him so that he would take it." I was like, "Sir, please, why can't you take this motion? It's very important. It's been listed." Then it was listed a 3rd time and stepped down. He then said, "Natasha, I'm the chief presiding officer of the Senate. You can enjoy a whole lot if you take care of me and make me happy." At that point, I said, "Sir, I'll pretend that I didn't hear this." He said, "Well, the ball is in your court."
So, after months of enduring this, Natasha submitted a sexual harassment petition against the Senate president. The very next day, she shows up to work, and boom, her seat has been moved. Not just to another chair, but to what she says is a visibly less appealing, lower-ranking corner of the chamber. She refused to move. And just like that, she was suspended for 6 months. The official reason? Misconduct. Specifically, refusing to sit in the new seat, speaking without recognition, and allegedly insulting Senate leadership. Here's what unfolded that day.
Order, please.
Dismissed Senator Natasha, please, you are not recognized to speak from there. That is the order of the Senate.
Sir, order 10 on privileges. Order 10 on privileges.
Distinguished Senator Natasha.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice. A motion declaring that the content of breach of privilege has been
that allows suspension immediately.
Or refer
Now, we couldn't hear what she was saying because the Senate president apparently had muted her mic, but she refused to be silenced. She raised her voice across the floor, delivering her message with fire.
Ever since the 19th incident, you have deliberately silenced my voice and the voice of Kogi Central of this law. You have denied me trying to contribute to workshops. I have not been able to take the second reading of my numerous debates. So, Mr. Senate President, I am not afraid of further being silenced. But I will not be shocked to be honored. I choose, as the senator duly elected by my people, I choose to remain on this seat. All what may. The worst you will do, Mr. Senate President, is to suspend me from sitting. And I promise you, the fact that I am suspended does not mean that I will cease to contribute my quota to the development of my people, the women of Nigeria, and Nigerians at large. Mr. Senate President, I have taken a whole lot from you. Some I don't want to speak publicly, but in due course I will tell Nigerians know how you have discriminated against me, how you have maligned me, how you have dehumanized me. Your choice of words is a refuge and in the Senate have nothing more to do with rich to the womankind. And I have motivated the whole law. So Mr. Senate President, I am not afraid of you. Do what you may, but I will not leave this seat.
It is heart-wrenching to watch. And it's important to note there's no precedence for this in Nigerian politics. This is the first time a senator has brought a sexual harassment case against the Senate president himself. And you have to understand, this is the third most powerful official in the country. The Senate president is second in the Nigerian presidential line of succession, right after the vice president. So to bring a sexual harassment case against such an influential person in Nigeria, well, you have to be bold, very bold. And how did the Senate handle it? Well, they tried to toss the petition on a technicality. But Natasha, no, she is not backing down.
Opinion of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan regarding the rules.
Thank you very much, Senate President. Again, I'm Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, representing the good and virtuous people of Kogi Central. I beg to differ that this matter is sub judice. And I stand on privilege 10, order 10, which is on privileges.
No, sorry.
No, dear Senate President, please, with due respect, do you mind? I have raised an order 10, privileges, sir, please. It's my right, Senate President. Order 10 on privileges, please. I believe, and please, would you stop turning off my microphone? I represent people, and I represent women who have been silenced. So permit me to speak without my microphone being silenced, dear sir, President of the Nigerian Senate. Order 10 on privileges.
Coincidentally, I'm hearing you.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he or she shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that a contempt or breach of privilege has been committed. I stand and I believe herefore, sir, that your denial, your refusal to accept and treat my petition before the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges and Abuse of my privileges, and I say forth, that this matter is not sub judice, it is not before the court. The matter before the court is on the defamation and cyberbullying statements made by your special assistant on new media, Mr. Patrick Umfom, who addressed my decent outfits as transparent, thereby depicting that I walk sedulously and naked to the chambers. That is the nature of the petition, of the case in court. This petition, sir, has never been filed. The petition that alleges, or should I say, accuses you of making sexual harassment moves, abusing your office, and making malicious obstructions to my legislative functions has not been tendered anywhere before, no court in Nigeria. So, sir, I would appreciate if you kindly accept my petition and forward same to the Ethics and Privileges Committee so it could be treated. Thank you, sir.
Now, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has called the allegations baseless, politically motivated, and claimed he's the real victim of a smear campaign designed to destroy his reputation. He's even threatened to sue for defamation. And yet, the Senate leadership, quiet. No official ethics probe, no investigation, just silence and business as usual. But the streets? Oh, the streets are loud. The hashtag Stand with Natasha took off on social media. Civil society groups, feminist movements, youth coalitions, they're all demanding an independent investigation. Because this isn't just about one woman, right? It's about every woman who's been cornered in silence by a powerful man in a powerful room. And in Africa, I'm sorry to say, but this is a culture that is too often normalized. And Nigerians are asking, why is the Senate protecting Akpabio? Why aren't we treating this like the national emergency that it is? And these are good questions, the right questions. Let's zoom out for a second. Nigeria has a toxic political culture where power shields predators and silences victims. Harassment in government institutions is common, but rarely called out. And when it is, the system gaslights the victim into oblivion. But this might be different because Natasha didn't just whisper, she roared fearlessly. And now everyone's watching. Take a listen to her recent interview with BBC.
Did the Senate President ever make any sort of advances towards you in the chamber or in the Senate?
Yes, in front of senators. He's done that. There was a time I forgot to wear my ring. I rushed to work, forgetting to wear my ring. And there were about 5 senators there. And he was, "Oh, Natasha, you're not wearing your ring. Is this an invitation to treat?" And then there was another time he made a statement like, "Natasha, your husband is really enjoying. It looks like you'll be able to make good movements with your waist."
So the Senate President said this?
He says that, yeah. He makes such sexist statement, and then they all laugh.
When the Senate President allegedly made this comment to you, there were other senators present?
Yeah. They said, "In the Senate, we're all men. She should be used to this."
How did the other senators respond to that?
Just laugh. The culture of shaming a woman who dares speak of something that is like a taboo is real. My suspension is a means of silencing me. You see, in the Nigerian Senate, it operates like a cult. Even the opposition have been silenced. You wonder, why is the Nigerian Senate not as vibrant as that of South Africa's or Kenyan? I mean, there are other parliaments we see. There is this culture of fear.
Fear of who?
Fear of the institution, fear of the leadership, fear of the Senate President. I mean, if you confront the Senate President or if you express contrary views, then you risk a chance of being stripped of your privileges. You will not speak. If you are a member of certain committees, like what happened to me, you will be removed. You will be sidelined of very important programs that you think could help project your own expertise, you will be cut off a lot of privileges. People don't understand what it means to carry this. Maybe we don't talk about it enough in Nigeria, maybe in Africa. I just wanted a place where I would just work. I thought the worst was over. I thought the worst was over. But I guess for a woman, it's never really over, right? I should be seen as a colleague, a senator. I should be given my due respect, my rights in that space. But to have to be faced with that, I think it's wrong. But I'm glad, no matter what, I have the courage to speak up. And I believe what I've done will accord more women the courage to speak up.
So where do we go from here, my people? Well, the case continues to evolve as legal proceedings and public discourse unfold. And I will be sure to bring you updates here on The Breakdown. But here's the thing. I hope this moment sparks a true reckoning, an independent probe, public accountability, reforms. Then we could be looking at the beginning of a cultural shift. Because what does it say about our society if women can't safely participate in governance, can't wear whatever they want to wear without being criticized? What kind of democracy are we building if silence is the price of survival? I turn it over to you now. What do you think about Natasha's case? Have women in Africa been silenced for too long where it matters the most? Is this the moment for change? What does that look like? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for sticking with me. Until next time, take care. Hey you! Thanks so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and join the family. Also, visit face2faceafrica.com for your daily news and updates on what's going on within the global Black community so you can stay informed.